I grew up in a Christian household. My mother always brought my brothers and I to church, and my father is Catholic. However, when my siblings and I grew up, my mom didn't want to obligate us and wanted us to come to church because we wanted to. With that shift, I started fading from church. I would only go on special occasions like Christmas. When middle school came around, I became part of the FCA club. I went every Friday, hoping I would find a Chick-fil-A biscuit, and I would sit down and listen to whoever was speaking. I was never emotionally into the presentation. I just went because everyone else did. However, in 2017, a shocking and heartbreaking news happened to my family and I. We were told that my dad had to leave the country or else he would forcefully have him go. I could not believe that this was actually happening to me and my family. I could not understand why, after all the good I've done, why God was taking away my origin of happiness. The day came across when my father had to leave, and the way my brother phrased it was spot on. It felt as if a gravitational pull were tearing us apart. Afterwards, I went into a huge pothole. I was at the lowest point of my life. However, still I acted like everything in my life was going the way I wanted it to. I became angry at what was called God. I could not understand why he would put my family and I in so much pain and misery. I did not see the purpose. However, I still continued going to FCA during my high school life. However, every time I felt myself drifting closer to the Lord, I would immediately think about my father. So for 6 months straight, I went into this rigorous cycle, which was wanting to give my all to the Lord, but then not letting go of something that was totally out of my reach. Then the summer rolled around, and Mrs. Hotman asked me if I was interested in attending this all-girls camp called FCA Black Mountain Camp. I didn't think much of it. I asked my mother if I could attend, and my mother had no objections for me going. However, part of me still didn't want to go. However, Haley Hotman and Ella Clark wanted me to go so badly because they thought it would be so much fun. I went, and on the third day of this 5-day camp, we were listening to the night devotional, and I remember this lady, Miss Dana, speaking about how God wouldn't take something away from you without returning it 3 times better. However, it's the fact that you have to let go first. I remember my heart dropping, and it became to race. I then began to ask myself why my heart was pumping so fast. Miss Dana proceeds to say, quote, "If your heart is beating very fast right now, please come to the altar." And at that moment in time, I knew I had to change my life. The world had placed a blindfold on me, and instead of reaching for God's hand to guide me, I turned away and tried to face it alone. And I ran into many barriers and walls. That night, I devoted myself to Him. I didn't want to go through this alone anymore. I wanted to be the best version of myself, and I knew that I could only do that with God. I wanted to get stronger from my family and friends. I knew He could give me the strength I needed to get through this difficult time. I came back home refreshed and alive once again. I started getting way more involved with my church. I joined the FCA leadership of my school and attended almost every Bible study I could. I can't tell you that trusting God is easy, but is it worth it? Yes, more than anything. I thank God for every new day I'm given, and I hope I can accomplish something more with every new day He offers. I am not perfect. I have many flaws. However, that's why our relationship with God is so beautiful, because with our flaws, He still loves us. By trusting Him, we receive the fruits of the Spirit, and He guides us to the light. I hope that in whatever you may be facing right now, you think about trusting the Lord wholeheartedly. If not, it's okay to be frightened or afraid, but I can promise you that knowing that He's there for you makes what we know as life bearable and enjoyable. I love you, and you are not alone.